Urgh. Miju shivered as she entered the room. To go to the toilet, she had to go out and walk along the open corridor. Her hair was covered in snow. Come on and have a hot drink to warm yourself up, Sinead beckoned to Miju to sit beside her. We were all sitting around the clay pot stove we had made. There you go. Oh, that does feel much better. We had another portable gas range brought solely for hot water so that we could make hot drinks. The two of them behaved like old women, huddled close together with sipping their tea with rounded backs. Speaking of which, I really need to sit up straighter. That was random, don't mind me. Attention please! Kawhi raised himself to his knees. Now that the dreaded day, getting our grades back, is over, we can now enjoy the new year with free spirits. It was only dreadful for you Toyama siblings. I got strangled. Mine also got crushed. We were compassionate enough not to ask what exactly almost got crushed. It was so scary. It was so scary. Oh, there. It couldn't have been that bad. You wouldn't understand because you're a winner. If being a winner means getting an all-average report card, I suppose. Let's not talk about dark things today. Yeah, no point crying over the past, right? Miju seemed almost desperate to forget whatever happened. Anyway, I, Kawhi Toyama, would like us all to make a toast. To what? Isn't that obvious for us all having passed the last year safely? And they looked at me. For having you, Misaki, as our new friend in the group? I didn't know what to say. Oh, are you moved, Misaki? Yeah. Oh, I didn't expect you to admit that. Sune smiled at me. Miju eyed the crab meat on the table. Kawhi patted me on the shoulder, and Yuki leaned up against me. So, ladies and gentlemen, to Misaki. We all raised our cups. And I said amongst the sound of our cups, with all sincerity, thank you. How nice. And then, when the pirates came aboard, I took them on, one by one, Asian Kung Fu style. Eating noises. I'm sorry, nom 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 just sounds so silly. Anyone want more tea? Sune was brewing another pot. And then the pirate captain came, and man, was he a big guy. And he gave us flying kicks, too. So that's the wire fu action part. Kawhi, can you pass that cup for me? More eating noises. There you go. And then, of course, I finished him off with my right punch. I said, see you in your next life over my shoulder, real suave. The point of the story is, it took a lot of trouble to get this crab meat. Revere it. Kawhi, here's your tea. Hey, the fire's starting to die. Well, we only used it once a year. It's not like we replenished the gas off. And hey, that's my share of crab. More eating noises. Oi, don't ignore me. Give it back. I'll have to teach you some manners. Ow, ow, ow! Don't stab me with his pincers. Ow, that's my head. Yeah. I remember my cousins and I playing with like crab pincers when I was like 6 years old. Good times. Anyway, that was the other side of the table. And on this side, do you know you're a crucial part of me? The nagging was about to start. I need a certain amount of Misaki a day to function properly, and after school ended, you never even asked me out once. I'm not good at using technology yet, and I bought a cell phone, and you didn't even ask my number. Oh, come on. What? You didn't think I had gotten it for you? You should have feel the... What? You didn't think I had gotten it for you? You should feel it from the love I emit my body, and are you listening to me? What? She's just rambling now. I want more tea. Yes, ma'am. I decided to be entirely submissive to her for just the one day. Were you paying attention? Were you trying to make a point that you don't want me anymore? Haven't we been through this for the better part of like 8 videos now? It's my first winter here. I was busy. Busy going to Kawhi's house to roll around and read comic books. Going to Sine and make extra cash. Too busy to talk to me because you were playing computer games all night. I mean, what else do you do? How do you spend your nights? How do you know that? Mami-chan tells me everything. I had a certain feeling she was pronouncing my mom's name differently. The hidden implications were scary. Or rather, my mom tells her everything. Damn it. Are you listening? Yes, ma'am. Don't you have anything to say? Sorry, ma'am. I just wanted to know why you're avoiding me. Oh my god. How thick is this kid? Are you doing it because of the issue of having a baby? Yes, that's exactly it. Why don't you just say so? I mean, he did. Or because he doesn't want to die just yet. I stared at Kawhi trying to signal for help. He noticed my pleading eyes and stuck his thumb at me to wish me good luck. I had no allies. I felt the end of the world approaching. I know you don't love me, Misaki, but I know that I can't help myself falling for you, although it's only making it harder for me to... It's only making it harder for me. Do you know how that... Punctuation much? Thanks, translators. What is it that it's not enough for you, or rather, what is it that you want from a woman? Is it her body, or do you need a woman with bigger boobs? Yeah, that's the only easy part of that paragraph to read. Or is it the fact that, can I just skip this? Anyway, Yuki was gunning me down and jumping to conclusions at the same time. I was pretty sure nothing that I said would convince her otherwise, so I decided that I would concentrate on my food. Or rather, there was nothing else that I could think of doing. She's basically saying he could get laid and he's not going to comply. Is he trying to be Misaki Gentleman Kono? No, I think he's being Misaki Chicken Heart Kono. Nah, what you're seeing is Misaki Enoch Kono, ladies. I heard that. Misaki felt the weight of Yuki leaning against me. The collar of her kimono had loosened a little, and I could see the white, smooth skin of her collarbones. Perfect. Your cup's empty. Yeah, I replied automatically. I poured another cup of tea for myself, but all my senses were directed to her now that I was aware that her kimono had loosened somewhat. Drink up. Yeah, there's still a lot of food left. There you go, eat up. Sine came over and started spooning more food onto our plates. Sine, are you purposefully disturbing us? No, of course not. I just came over to give you this. Sine handed Yuki a paper bag from the local bookshop. I promised to give you this. No, I don't think I asked for anything. It was just a very long time ago and you forgot. Is that right? Thank you. I can imagine what these books are. Ooh, Sine, don't tell me you've given her some books, some steamy books to read. Obviously. Kawai-kun, you're so dirty-minded. Oni-chan, you're a filthy piece of scum. I was only teasing. Never mind then. I can't eat properly if you lean on me like that. I'm having my share of Misaki for the day. That sounds like food, come to think of it. So I'm not going to stop. Is that so? I took a mouthful of the crab, but I couldn't taste it properly, not really, when my senses were on overdrive with Yuki. Water. Alright, take two. I took a mouthful of the crab, but I couldn't taste it properly, not really, when my senses were on overdrive with Yuki leaning on my shoulder. Text? Alright, I have to A again. Only 4 hours to go till the year ends, Kawai said as he reached out with his chopsticks. Instead of the stewed vegetables and seafood, now the clay pot was filled with noodles with the leftover broth of soup. Sine prepared it the way she ate it at home with yuzu. Oh, so she's making it like she does at her restaurant place thing. The recipe was meant to be made with udon noodles, but since it was the end of the year, we used soba noodles instead. I have no idea what those are. And I occasionally eat noodles too, so whatever. This is really good. It was my honest opinion. Doesn't it make you eager to have Japanese Mistress number 3? You're serious about that? No, not one bit. So, I don't read that many visual novels. I've read Neko Pirate and stuff, but I get the feeling that this is the way a lot of them go. Let's see, where was I? This is, no, I read that part already. The Toyama siblings were eating their noodles in peace for once. They reached out for the Yuzu Kosho at the exact same time, and we had a laugh at the similarities. Let's do this again next year. Next year, I mouthed silently. Next year, all of us except for Miju would be on our last year at high school. We would all have to make big decisions. Would we further our studies or start working? Would we even have time to spend together? What would Kawai, Miju, and Sane choose to do? And then there's that question. What about me and Yuki? Me and Shiro, who I am still a little bit disappointed at having not seen, but I guess they did explain that she's being distracted at somebody else's house right now. Where would we be? What would we do? Would we really be able to stay together till the end of next year? I held my breath just at the thought of it. Misaki-kun, sorry, I snapped out of it. You look really scared for a minute. I tried to explain what I was thinking about, but I couldn't find the words to describe my fears. But then, everything will be alright. Huh? It's us, everything will be alright, she repeated. We'll be alright. And magically my worries faded away. Yeah. Her slow words were filled with so much hope, and I reveled in it. A part of me was telling me I was being optimistic. Maybe I was. But I asked myself again, where would we be? Together again next year? We will be here together again next year. Yes. I decided it then and there. You're alright too, right, Misaki-kun? If that's what you want me to be. I do. Sune glanced at her wristwatch. Is it time for dessert? We've got ice cream outside. I'll go get it. Miju stood up. Whoa! Oh. I'm gonna take a wild guess that somebody has, perhaps tampered with the ice cream. Somebody who's perhaps, like, immortal and has a wolf companion person.
Wrong.
And then, help! She came back empty-handed. What's wrong? It's under all the snow. I need help digging it out. For real? Come on, help. It's gourmet ice cream. I'll help too. Sune stood up and followed Kouai. No, I'll go. Nah, you just stay there. But your princess won't appreciate your moving now. And she's sleeping. Yuki had fallen asleep on my shoulder. See you later. They left the room. And she's still sleeping. All I could hear were the leftover noodles sputtering on the gas range and Yuki's soft snoring by my ear. Oh well. With nothing else to do, I used my free arm to turn down the gas and scooped up the leftover fruit from the pot. I proceeded to finish everything, because the more leftovers we had, the more rubbish we had to carry away later. Yeah, didn't figure you would enjoy carrying all that back down the mountain. I somehow managed to clean out the clay pot. Boy, they're taking their time. 5 minutes had passed. I thought for a moment. Yuki, I tapped her lightly on the cheek. You want a son? I prefer a daughter. Wake up. Tap, tap. What? She opened her sleepy eyes. The three of them are taking too much time. Let's go find them. Yuki quickly got up and frowned. You never could be sure what was out there in the dark. We opened the door, bracing ourselves for the cold. Kouai! Sune, Miju, where are you? Yuki yelled. The dark absorbed our voices. Some snow fell from the branches above us, shaken by the vibration of our voices. The three of them could be buried somewhere, if they weren't careful. I listened for the sound of any movement. Misaki! Yuki beckoned to me as she squatted on the ground. Look. She pointed to the area beside the Sai-Senbako of the shrine. It's an ice cream box Miju went to get. It was a simple cardboard box wrapped in plastic film. It wasn't buried under the snow at all, it was just sitting there. There was a note. There was a piece of paper stuck underneath the box. I pulled it out and opened it. It was a letter. I read it. Damn it, those guys! I cried out, exasperated. What does it say? I pressed the note to Yuki's hand, pulled out the penlight I had in my pocket. There should be an "and" in there. Seriously, guys. I searched the ground for any visible signs of them, and there it was. We've been abandoned? I couldn't even nod from the incredulity of it all. It's a word I know thanks to Harry Potter. I just stared at the 3 tracks of footsteps trailing down and away. Now what? Oh, stranded. So this isn't over yet. It keeps going. On the road from Tagami Shrine. 5 minutes are up. Miju looked up from her cell phone. I hope Misaki's doing what he's expected to do. I have a feeling not. Nah, he's Masaki Chicken Heart Kono. I'm sure he'll need more time. But he doesn't come running after us with Yuki, so I guess it means he doesn't mind being alone with her. He's probably trying his best to ward off her advances right now. Probably. The 3 kept descending the mountain, occasionally looking back in the direction of the shrine. It wasn't much of a plan. They had decided they would leave the 2 alone with the excuse to get ice cream. Then the two who would come out later and find the note would realize they had purposefully been left alone to have some private time. Aww. Kouai knew there were a couple of flaws in this plan. I wish we could see what's going on right now. It would be hilarious. Or the fact that they couldn't stay and laugh their heads off at Misaki's discomfort. Isn't it weird that we're worried about some guy doing nothing at all in this circumstance? The other was that the success of the plan depended entirely on Misaki. The 3 walked in silence for a while. I think it's almost New Year. Yeah, let's go to Hatsumode together. I want to write one of those apostrophes. Hey, yeah? Oh no. The less they moved their mouths, the more the 3 hurried their feet. They knew from experience that with only torchlight in hand, it wasn't a safe thing to do to hurry down the mountainside. But still, they couldn't help but move as quickly as possible. Sune used her arms to shield her face from the beating wind. Oni-chan! This is bad. Kouai's mouth twisted into a scowl. Miju and Sune tightened their scarves. You did check the weather report, didn't you? It was supposed to be clear for a week, but it certainly doesn't look so. The glow of the torches seemed so much farther away now. It was beginning to get hard to see through the rolling snow. They squinted, but it made no difference. Oni-chan, Kawai-kun. Kawai scoured the area quickly, picking out familiar landscapes to assess how far they were from reaching the bottom. Another 5 minutes, he said with certainty. Partly it was to reassure the girls everything was under control, partially it was to reassure himself. They walked the curving path with their hands on the rocks to guide them. Halfway down the mountain, they noticed a change in the weather. That's why they began chatting about all sorts of silly things, taking their minds off the situation. They were too afraid to admit what they knew what was going to come. What, a blizzard? It's heading straight. It's a straight road from here. No cliffs, just a flat ground, Kawai said as he pushed through the snow. From here, we can make a run for it. Huh? He realized he must have looked desperate by the way Sine held her breath when he turned around. We don't have much time. Okay. You go first and I'll follow. Run. It was a stupid thing to do, running through the snow in the dark, but it was a fight against time now, and they had no other choice. Miju went into full sprint. Snow sprayed upwards with each pounding step she took. Being the fastest runner in school, she easily left the other two behind. Sane! I can't, it's too dark! She spoke quickly with her head down, but Kawai could sense the fear in her voice. We can't afford to lose any more time, we're in danger. But, she looked up, and he saw her face was covered in frozen tears. Kawai tried to stop her from saying anything further, but... What's going to happen to Yuki and Misaki-kun? It was out now. She had just said what they had feared the most. This style of writing is rather different from what it's been so far. I know there have been a couple sections where it wasn't written in first person by Misaki, but I don't know. This just seems a little bit off, somehow. It took effort just to stand still. They were taught the weather in the mountains was fickle, but even for Kawai, who had lived in Tagami all his life, it was the kind of blizzard he had experienced only a few times. It was me. I thought of this stupid plan. If I hadn't said anything, if Yuki and Misaki-kun... Her choked words reached him even through the howling wind, rather. What if they both did... He had to calm her down. We're going to run now, together. We aren't going to stop till we reach the bottom. Do you hear me? Kawai, this hurts! Sine stared down at Kawai's large hand, engulfing her own in a tight grip. If I go too fast, pull my hand. You only have to run or pull my hand. It's that easy, okay? But the faster we reach town, the faster we can save Yuki and Misaki. I promised. Sine? Kawai used all his will to stop himself from dragging her away, and paused to listen. I promised Misaki-kun that we'd all be together again next year. He could feel her shaking. Miju may have already made her way down the mountainside, but Kawai stood there, listening to the frightened girl. Is that what this is all about, keeping a promise? He grinned. It's not just, it's an important promise. Everything is going to be okay. It's us. Everything is going to be okay. They are the same words she had used to erase Misaki's fear. And now, those same words from Kawai eased hers. Can you run? Your hand. Yeah? Don't let go of me. Oh, that's nice. I won't. Let's go. Sine nodded and ran hand in hand with Kawai. He was hard to keep up with, and she easily ran out of breath. Whenever she was about to pull his hand to tell him to stop, that she couldn't run any faster, he would slow down just in time to help her recover. And then they would start running again. They were probably moving at a speed barely faster than a brisk walk. Yeah, snow will do that to you. But even so, as long as she had Kawai's hand in hers, Sine knew that she would make it through. Yeah, this is definitely very different writing than so far I've seen in this story. Oni-chan! Miju is wording at the bottom. It was a relief to see the asphalt roads again. They were still covered in snow, but it wasn't half as bad as the mountain path. I'm not getting any service! Tagami had always had a weak signal for cell phones, and things were only worse because the lines were congested with people making preparations for the new year. Kawai took a minute to catch his breath. The closest house here is Grandpa Tagami's. You take Sine with you, you head there. Ask for help to call the ambulance, police, fire brigade, whatever help you can find. Tell them Tawada's daughter's in trouble, and you'll get them moving faster. And then, stay warm. What about you? I'm going to go get all the men up. While you're calling emergency, we need all the help we can get to help to clear the path to the shrine. But you're tired too. I'll be fine. Kawai went into a full-forced run. He quickly disappeared into the blizzard, leaving the two alone. Sine, we've got to move too. Yeah. The two ran, forcing their aching legs to move. Grandpa Tagami was just a few minutes away. And I almost spilled water all over my microphone again. Miju pressed the redial button on her cell phone nonetheless. Damn it. Get through, won't you? Miju! It keeps beeping at me. I thought you might have the wrong number. No way.